So I wanted to do a quick video to show you how I have changed the battery on my Diamond keys for a 530D e60 BMW. What was happening was it was working intermittently. It was working a lot better after it had been in ignition for a while. I presume it's being charged. But the next morning it never worked. And this went on for a week or two, so I had a bit of a look online. I've done things slightly differently in places. Basically, what I ended up doing was, I've already done it obviously, but just wedged it in a vise like that. I just gently cut all around the sides there with a Stanley knife. As you can see, I've sanded it down a bit. It's fiddly. It took me a good hour to cut my way into it and then sand it all down. It's not really a perfect fit again, I have to say, but it was hopefully a solution for that. So once you get it all cut open, it will sit something like that. You take it off, the circuit will actually be in that side when you take it off. I was very wary of cutting it in case I cut in and cut the circuit, but what it sort of discovered was the knife did slip in a few times, but it actually slipped in underneath this side of the circuit, thankfully, rather than this side. If you cut on that seam, well, it's not a seam, but if you cut on what looks like the seam directly on it, the knife sort of went under the circuit. So I think I got lucky there. Don't know if it'll always happen, but it happened for me. So when I took it apart, I got this. This is the new battery soldered in. The old battery, it's the original rechargeable battery there. What I discovered was, as well, that little terminal was actually a bit broken. So I'm not sure if the battery was done, I'll have to test it, or was it just intermittently having contact. Either way, I used a soldering iron to get the other one out, and then soldered this one back in. Not the neatest job in the world, but it seems to work. I've already tested it in the car and it works fine. So the next thing I sort of tried to do was to glue it back together using a, not super glue, but like a gel glue. It didn't work. It just wasn't going to hold properly. So what I'm going to try and do now is put this back together and then use a soldering iron to sort of plastic weld it. I intend just to tack it together in places, melt it together a wee bit in places to hold that tight. And then I got this off eBay for about 3 or 4 quid, and that's a snug fit over the key. So once I get it melted together, I'll put that on and hopefully it'll all stick together. So that's the way I'm going to try and do it. It's not that hard to do, but it's very fiddly. Once you get into it, if you have a soldering iron, getting the old battery off is relatively easy. That contact and that contact, and the old battery comes out. I discovered that you can't really put it in the wrong way because there's holes either side of the circuit board there, and when you look at the battery, that terminal is very skinny and it matches with the skinny hole on the board, and that's a lot wider and flatter, and it matches with the wider and flatter hole on the board, which is, I think, the higher one there. Yeah. So yeah, as you can see it there, it's a long flat hole, whereas that one's just a little more or less round hole. So you will get it together with minimal fuss. So cutting it open was definitely the hardest part. Don't rush it. It took me probably, I don't know, an hour or more, I'm sure, of just scraping and scraping and scraping with it in this vise and turned it round. And then the front bit there was a complete nightmare. I scraped at that for, I'm sure, half an hour on my own, on its own, before it actually came apart. So far so good. So I can't hold the camera and try the plastic weldy sort of thing I'm gonna go for here. But what I will do is I'll do it and then I'll come back and show you how that worked out. Okay, just a little update as how things are going here. Might be easier to see it through that. I'm using this little magnifying glass and my solder iron. I'm just melting it a little bit lightly around the edges to try and seal it together. And once that's done, I'll sand it down with some very fine sandpaper and see if I can make it look a lot neater. So that is what I'm doing at the minute. Not the neatest of jobs, but if it works, I still have to finish that side. Got that side looking a little bit better. The key works, I've tested it, works in the car no problem. Doesn't appear to be any issues, so I just need to do that side, get it a bit more sealed up, and then go over it with sandpaper. So I'll get back to it and I'll come back to you and give an update shortly on how that has went. Okay, I've sort of went around it and melted it together. As you can see, it didn't go mad, it's just quite lightly melting the plastic together. It's now holding together firmly. It's not very neat, it's actually horrendous looking, but I don't really care about that. I care about it working and working for the rest of the life of the car. So the first one lasted years and years and years and years, the battery, so hopefully this one won't have any issues. I will go around it with a bit of sandpaper anyway and tidy it up slightly, and then it's going into this case anyway. I'm doing this more to hold it together. I think this will hold it together better than gluing it would. I don't want to go too mad, I just want it held tight enough in case I do have to open it again. So I haven't bothered gluing that bit at the front there. That's just too much hassle. I don't think it's needed. It's well held the rest of the way around anyway. So that's how I'm choosing to do it. No, most people will probably say it's a very messy job and all the rest of it, but I think it'll work better for me than the glue would. As I say, since it's going into this case, it'll make a little difference to how it looks. So I'll sand it down a bit here and then come back to you again, let you see how it looks at the end. Right, I have sanded it down a little bit, cleaned it, and close up, as you can see, it's a little bit messy, but at any sort of a distance it actually looks respectable enough. So much so that I might not even bother putting it inside that rubber case. I've just checked it in the car and it works perfectly. Opens and closes the car from quite a distance as well, actually. The new battery's obviously making a big difference. The battery I put in here was rechargeable. But just bought it off eBay for a couple of £. So I think that'll do. I don't think I'll bother putting it inside the case. It seems fairly sturdy. Actually, it used to rattle a bit before I took it apart, slightly. Now it doesn't at all, so it's maybe even more solid than it was inside there, but that's how I did it, just in case anybody else. Obviously, do this at your own risk. This is just how I did it. Not perfect, but it worked, and that's all I really cared about. If anyone else tries this and has trouble getting it back together, like I did, glue just was not going to cut it for me, and I didn't have various types of glue, and it's late at night, I just wanted it done. So I just tried my hand at plastic soldering. This is the first time I've ever tried to plastic weld anything in my life, and it seemed to work quite well. So I hope this helps somebody else out there who might be having the same problem. This was an e60 diamond key. I assume they're all pretty similar over the years. So anyway, thanks for watching.